We do two things at CreateFuture. We consult and we create, and we've been doing a lot of consulting recently. Now, the point of consulting is to provide advice and arrive at answers, but you can't get to the right answers without asking the right questions. So I wanted to talk about a few techniques that we use to confidently use questions in pursuit of creative solutions. And the first of these is to replace brainstorming with questioning sessions. Brainstorming basically tries to jump to the answer. It's far too quickly. And there's a lot of problem with kind of group dynamics in brainstorming sessions, which are well documented. Instead, by asking people to look at problems, to ask questions about a problem, you can often come up with, it's much more inclusive, and you can come up with much more kind of creative and interesting suggestions. So quite simply, frame the problem for 2 minutes. Then over the course of about 4 minutes, you're looking to get about 15 questions. And from there, then you zero in on the most interesting questions and think about what could we do to arrive at answers to that. And as I say, you'll often come up with having reframed the problem in a really interesting way, and the solution should hopefully be starting to jump out at you. It's a technique and an approach that's documented quite well in this month's Harvard Business Review, and we'll put a link in down there. The second is Sakichi Toyoda, the legendary founder of the Toyota Corporation's 5 Whys. If you haven't heard of the 5 Whys, but you have got a toddler, you'll also be familiar with this. It's just to keep asking why. Keep asking why to the same question and challenging the answers that you get. And by the time you get to the 5th answer, you'll have gone past the descriptive and the obvious answers to a question, and you'll have really got to the underlying matters, the more emotive and the more meaningful answers to the question. And the third is how might we's. So this is an approach that we learned via running sprints, but it's I think it comes from the design school. Quite simply, as you're working through a meeting or you're exploring a problem, capture every question that you have on a separate note, and start the note, how might we? And then when you kind of put them up at the end of a session and look at them, you'll find that all of those kind of problems and all those questions have already been reframed as opportunities, as possibilities. It's just that simple act can kind of give you a kind of a head start towards finding solutions to those questions. So there are 3 things that work for us. Finally, the nature of a good question is that it should be short, open, and simple. So I'll finish on what works for you.